Hello and welcome, everyone. It's Darius Barazande. Thank you for tuning in to the U-Wealth Revolution. I super appreciate you being on this special Zoom call. And this is one of those energetic soup type frequency events where we're going to get to play in a lot of different frequencies with our guest, Peter Schenk, and we're going to be plugging into frequencies. We're going to be tasting them, and we're going to be talking about how to create actually a spiritual vortex. You know, a lot of us go to spiritual places like Sedona. We go to these retreats and we're super excited about the whole process, but what if you could actually create the vortex in your hand or on your body or in your room? What if actually you are the vortex and the device is helping you to realize that and bring that energy through you? Well, I don't have all the answers today on some of these technologies, but we're going to do this with Peter. We're going to hold a very powerful position to manipulate what Peter calls time and space in the palm of our hand. We're going to help those around us to be protected from unhealthy energies. We're going to talk about what's going on the planet in terms of how we can create our reality easier. And we're going to use some newfound spiritual technology and even something I noticed with magnetics in some of Peter's devices to really bring that frequency into a higher octave in our life. And today, we're also going to take you through a vortex cleanse. So if you love Peter and you love his clearings like I do, and you realize he just is kind of put together a little differently than most of us, a little bit wired differently. And he's got some insights you've never heard before, which I know this to be true. You're going to want to hear this spiritual vortex clearing. Well, Peter Schenk began his life as a computer programmer, developing software that aim to grow the already humongous fortunes of one of the planet's largest global banks. And after a life-altering spiritual awakening, Peter realized that his true passion and purpose was to harness quantum physics and consciousness to help people on the planet to move into higher frequencies. So he began his commitment to transforming the world through very powerful energy tools. Started to emulate the work of Mishiro Emoto, and he began to use world-class engineering skills to discover the link to what Emoto was doing with water, if you've ever heard of the book Messages in Water, and also the quantum principles. Now, the big breakthrough came in 2007 when he succeeded in identifying and defining the force behind all creation as a mathematical integer. He calls it source or source-X energy. And through this discovery, he began to unlock more and more bits of information and wisdom from the universal coding that we all come from and bringing it into our world as physical items. And we're going to talk about all of this. He did this with software. He does it with energetic tools. And also, he is absolutely committed to helping us be empowered to live our best life. Now, I want to share a few stories because many of you know one of the things with Peter's tools is they kind of act as either a cleanser or sometimes an amplifier or sometimes both, and a lot of other things to our energy. One person wrote in and said, I set my intention, I'm going to read these, for within 24 hours to have a shift, and my son signed a lease in that time. And I am beyond grateful. We also needed to find a new place to live. There were no available rentals. Everything was limited. Having no options, I decided to utilize my device, which is located 2 feet from my activated quantum device. I set my intention and the required needs and conditions, and within 24 hours, my son signed a lease for a location, and it far exceeded our requirements. Another person, I felt energy healing flowing into my jaw. Powerful. Another person, I reached deeper levels of meditation and maintained joy and peacefulness when using some of these devices. And a lot of stories of people's lives just getting better. So without further ado, let's welcome Peter, U-Wealth Revolution, and begin to open up this experiential journey on these quantum devices and tools and send you some energy, send you some good vibes today. Peter, welcome.
Thank you, Darius. It's good to be back as usual.
Yeah.
Today, we got some cool stuff going on.
I love it, man. I want to go to your story, but I want you to tell me something a little different about your story, because we've heard your amazing transformation. We've heard kind of how you shifted. What's one thing we don't know about that whole process or about your story that might be relevant for today?
There is a document that was written about the first 2 years of my wake up experience with Jason Davis, a great friend of mine. And it's probably 100, 150 pages. It's written like a book. And one of the most profound pieces of information during those early years, which were all part of my wake up experience, was a time we were treasure hunting. And yeah, I treasure hunted for a long time, and it was very, very cool. So I was out with him in his place out there in Salt Lake City, and he said, "All right, we're gonna see what you can do, man." And he takes his big map of Utah and puts it down, and then he puts a like um like a dining room tablecloth over it, and he gives me 3 pins, and he says, "Tell me where the treasure is." I was like, "Well, I can't see the map." He goes, "I know." So I put the pins in where I feel it, and we slowly take this thing off, and two of the places didn't feel right, but the third place was in southern Utah, out near Eureka, I believe it was called, and it would look like it was on a kind of a mountain. So we decided to head on down there and check it out. So we load up some pretty advanced equipment at the time, and this has got to be 2005, 2006. This is a long time ago. And we're driving down there, and back then I had a lot of outer body experiences where I just started talking and I didn't realize what I was talking about. And I started mentioning the white witch, the white something. And I just kept on mumbling it as we're driving out to this mountain. And as you know, back then, and very relevant today, I have what we call the gift of sight, and it allows me to access information on the fly and see it in real time. And as we were coming down the plateau towards the mesa, I looked up on that mountain, and it was a mound, maybe 300 feet high and a mile by a mile, whatever. I saw Moses with lightning bolts in his hand, and he was throwing lightning bolts down, right? So I'm like, I hadn't started the mushrooms yet at that point. No,
Yeah.
so so there's a road that goes to the top. So we drive the truck to the top, and Jason goes white, and I look at him. He's like, "What?" He's like, "Look at the odometer." And it was precisely 12,000 miles right when we got to the top of the mountain. So now all this strange stuff is going to be starting. Now, he had given me an alleged Egyptian artifact. It's about this big, some type of carving he had acquired through some other lady. And when we got up on the ledge of the mountain and we were looking around, there was a puddle of water where I saw Moses. Okay. On this rock, on the top of a mountain where it's completely arid, there's a puddle of water. So what do? I drop the Egyptian artifact in the water, and it starts floating. It didn't sink, it's floating. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so now, so at that point, I have this experience out there, and it's very outer body. It's very hard to describe. So we leave there. I fly back to Connecticut, and a few days later, I said to Jason, I said, the gold is there. It's where we were standing. I know it is. And that happens to be the exact spot where I put the pin, where I saw Moses. One thing I forgot to mention was that up on that mountain, every tree on the mountain was burnt from the inside out with lightning strikes. Remember I said Moses had lightning in his hand? So this whole complicated, cartoon character story starts coming together, and it's getting more insane. So I fly back to Connecticut, and about a week later, he's like, He's like, dude, you are not going to believe this. I said, what? He's like, look at the Google satellite photos. Okay. And I'm looking down and I froze in complete horror. My skin started vibrating. Everything started vibrating. Where we were standing, when you looked at it, you could literally see Moby Dick, the whale. The roads created the outline of the white witch, Moby Dick, as I was mumbling, blah, blah, blah. That's how I was like, and you could see it. I mean, it was insane. So a few days after that, he brings a metallurgist or a geological surveyor, I can't remember, out to the spot. And where all this happened, it was like kind of like a ridge line. So they walked down in front, and what they noticed was a cavern, not very big, maybe 4 feet high. It went back about 8 feet. And as they were poking around in there, they noticed carbon scorching on the top. The Spaniards were smelting gold and silver right below that water, right below where Moses was standing, right in the eye of Moby Dick. So, this is one of the adventures that carved into my knowingness that anything is possible, because you cannot write this stuff. So it's like kind of like one of those pivotal learning moments where, man, you look at what you want to create and you don't waste time with the blah, blah, blah in the beginning. You put all your love, creativity, and energy, and you become completely driven to see that thing through to completion. And all of your envisioning is never in the beginning. It's always on the end result. And the universe gives you everything. So that was one of these higher learning processes that kind of opened up and expanded my mind, because it was part of the experience along the journey to, almost 20 years later, creating, out of the box products that shift people's reality.
That's a wild story, I got to tell you. And when you were talking about this, the first thing that came into my mind was innate intelligence, infinite intelligence. This sort of all is one connection we have to everything that is, to all the wisdom that is, to the location of everything, to the knowingness of everything, to galaxies that science hasn't even begun to imagine exist. We are in singularity with that if we believe it, if we connect to it with the right vibration. I mean, this is like opening up this big truth. Let's talk about that infinite intelligence or innate intelligence or all-knowingness, whatever omnipresence, omnipotence, whatever we wish to call it. What are your feelings on that? What is the maybe connection to that in your work or your life mission or anything else you want to share about that?
I've gone through a lot of curveballs, a lot of learning processes, and people like to use the words like I'm trying, I'm hoping for, I really want that to happen. And if you say those, they kind of sound just eh. But if you say, I have a knowingness that the end result is going to be this. So, to create these types of products, I don't waver for 1 second, 1 microsecond, that it's not going to do exactly what I say it's going to do. I have a concrete, solid rock resolve that at the end of the process, that knowingness is everything I want it to be. And here's the kicker. This is the best part. No matter how confident in your knowingness you are, the universe is always going to one-up you and make it 10 times better every single time.
Right. And I think the reason is, no matter how confident we are in our knowingness, at some level, our mind thinks it has the answer, but our mind is just this finite little pebble, like kind of trying to play along the ocean, believing it understands the entire ocean or is as big as the ocean. And yet the universe has all of this information, all of this wisdom, all this potentiality. And then it one-ups us and says, oh, it's not what you thought. It's 10 times better.
But you are that information.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you have that realization, it opens up a world of, you can't describe it. You can only experience it. And I tell people, you have to trust in the process. And when you have the capacity to think outside your box, to move your consciousness outside your comfort zone, outside that box that we live in for 1 second, the whole universe will come in and support you in whatever endeavor you're doing, as long as you believe and trust in the process and just surrender to it. It's amazing what happens. And I've done it more than a few times.
Yeah, quite a few times. Well, I like what you said, where you said, you are all of that, right? But in reality, a lot of people may not identify with that part of themselves on a daily basis. You said we got to get out of the box. So a lot of us find ourselves in a box thinking we're the box, or we're only as large as the box when we're so much more. And I think that's what I like about your tools and your work the most, is that you bring that infiniteness into our lives in a way that we can start to really use it and identify and use that infinite essence, that infinite self. Let's take one, for example. I want to jump to something new. I'm wearing it. A lot of high vibration in this thing. I can tell you, I started feeling this is the smaller one here. I'll pull it off my neck so people can see. I started feeling a lot of balancing of energy putting this on, a lot of release of fears and worries, and just kind of that low level humming noise that we can have in our mind automatically without having to do any processing. Now, this is your force generator. Tell me about this. I'm going to pull this thing off here in a second. Tell me about it.
Oh, you're wearing that on your neck.
I was thinking, man, should I ask if I can wear it on my neck? I'm like, I don't care. He always says, do what you want with it. So
oh, absolutely. That is so.
That was funny, man.
That is very neat.
Should I ask him? I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask him anything. It's fine.
I have not experienced that myself.
What is this? What is this thing I've got around my neck, Peter? It felt good. I know that. It felt like very balanced. I just want to know what it's doing.
So it's doing exactly what it's named. Harmonic field amplifier. This is nickel over copper instead of the usual pure copper and silver I do. This particular product properties are very different. Okay. There are magnets, 4 magnets on it. There is a flat one that looks like a little CRV battery in here. And then there's 3 around the edges. And the shape and the design create a spiral, very much like a snow cone. Yeah. So the only way to describe the effects, and you're all going to experience this today, is to, if you have ever been to Sedona, which I have, and there are 9 known natural vortexes in Sedona, and people come from all around the world to go there and just bathe in this energy. And I've experienced it, and it's potent, but I am also a product of, practicality, right? And engineering. And why go to Sedona when you can have it come to your mailbox, right? And experience something that is vastly different than the healing energies. The healing energies in Sedona are amazing, but they're scattered and they're not focused. The ability to project the vortex in the HFA generator is laser focused, and that's exactly how it was designed. So when you're wearing it on your neck, I bet if you turned it around, you would get a vastly different feeling from it. Because one side is projecting the force field out, and the other one is reversing it. So it'd be interesting to see how that works.
Well, one thing I noticed with it was I felt it going inward. So I think the field was going in.
Yeah.
Whereas if I flipped it around, let's say I'm going outside or I'm going to go just out and about in the world and I want to create a field around me, I might flip it the other way, keeping track of what side is, which, and then feel it going outward. Now tell me about this in sense of what you've seen this do, because you have some that are cleansing tools like the HFA Mini, right, that we've used to cleanse harmful energy, and it changes colors and it becomes dark, and then we clean it. You have others that are like a safer way to travel that tend to keep positive energy around you. How is this working? Is this kind of an energy cleanser transmuter? Is this a vortex of just kind of like a buffer shield around? Do you have any ideas on how it's working the most?
So all of the products that I create, there's some type of visible change. You can feel it. You can possibly see it. With the HFA force generator, I wanted something that would literally blow your mind apart, like that story I told you. And when I received the prototypes, the first thing I did was put it down between me and another person, and we just look at, and I have my phone was set up and it was filming it, and you just put it down in front of you on a flat surface, and you stand a couple feet back, and all of a sudden in real time, one person gets taller and the other gets shorter, because you're looking through a spiral, a vortex, and the vortex has the power to warp time and space. So then when you switch, it reversed itself. One person got taller, the other got shorter. And when you think about that, okay, think about carrying the forces of creation in your pocket.
Yeah.
you know um and think about how the vortexes in Sedona and in Alaska and other places in the world, if you've ever experienced them, how they affected you, and then multiply that times 10, and it brings you to the perfect creation, which is the HFA force generator.
Wow.
It's marvelous. Cleaning
Wow.
energy. It's
Now,
great.
I'm going to ask you a question, and it's a little bit selfish. What side of this is going to be projecting outward? What side, if someone was to wear this, would they wear it if they were going to wear it like on their chest, like I am? Is there
Okay.
any way to distinguish the sides?
Sure.
Partly because I want to make sure I'm doing this right.
Yeah. So this is a great question, by the way, and this is very cool. What are you feeling with it now?
Feeling mostly inward.
Okay, so you have it going inward. Now, there's no visible markings on the top or the bottom because they both look the same. Okay. So how do you overcome the problem of which way it's going instead of just putting it up to you? Well, just put your attention on it and reverse the flow. Just tell it to push it out. Watch what happens. Takes a microsecond and it just reverses itself.
Yeah. Now I can feel like it's this this big field all around me. Like we talked about in a little bit of the intention process, we embody that energy, and we command it, we direct it, we take dominion over it, because this higher energy is what we are, what we come from.
These are all my babies, and they all have consciousness, right? And that consciousness is there to serve you for your highest good. And when it comes to these types of energies, you don't want to be shy. Well, could you? You don't want to be coy. Right. You want to command, and that endeavors respect.
And you have to know that it's done. You hold the space. It is done. I have commanded it. It is done.
Knowing this.
It's out of my mind. Right.
Exactly.
And I love this. I want to get to some questions. You've got a very, very powerful ability to manifest. And I'll say everyone else does too, but you have it down to a science. I want to get to some folks' questions here because I know a lot of people have questions about manifesting and moving forward. Let me how should I use it to do it? Okay. A lot of questions coming in. All right, I got a first question about manifesting. And I'm going to just ask it myself, but I want all of you to send in your questions if you've got one. What do you recommend as maybe the first step for people to begin to live the life that they truly want to live? What would be the first step you would do, Peter? You were starting 100% from scratch. Let's say everything in your life shifted, starting from basement level again. What would you do first? Please.
On mute.
Yeah, we got you muted there. Hold on. Can you unmute? There we go.
So I think for me, if I just starting out, I wouldn't have the level of confidence and knowingness that I have now, not even in the same universe. I would be probably pretty shy about it. And if I wanted to manifest something, I wouldn't go overboard. I would start something small, like
Right.
like a matchstick, or a blue thimble, or a needle, or a pin. And all I would do is just think about that, and in your mind, turn it, feel it, smell it. If the rubber, move it around, and just release it to the universe. That is the simplest form of any manifestation. And what will happen generally within 24 to 72 hours are you'll be walking down the road and there it is. It's just there. Or, you look up on your countertop and, oh my God, there it is. Or you pull your mattress back and it's like, oh my God, there it is. And there's no rhyme or reason for the easy ones to show up. They just do. Now, more complicated manifestations, and complicated probably isn't the best word, because manifestation is just it's all a flat line. That's how the universe sees it. There's nothing big or small. But ego is very, very real with us, and that needs to be kind of kept in check. So as you start to manifest these littler things, your knowingness in the process starts to build a little bit, and you get a little bit better. You can work towards moving things around. As powerful as your imagination is, the verbiage that you choose to bring something into fruition is all equally as powerful. Okay, so if you say to the universe, I'm going to try and bring a blue thimble into fruition. The word trying is, you're stuck in neutrality. You're not moving forward. You're not going backwards, right? You want to say something like, I'm going to bring into fruition a blue thimble within 72 hours. And right there, I've just assertive. I've been very assertive. Have commanded confidence to the universe and a knowingness that there's no question, man, that it's not going to happen. And it just happens. And what that does is that increases your confidence level, your boosted level. So your mindset moves away from being passionate and motivated in manifesting. And you don't want to do those because they're temporary. You want to be driven to see something through to completion. And as you start to do that, so bigger things, as you kind of move up that ladder, become easier and easier to manifest. I mean, I have witnessed, I just have to call them miracles because I don't know what else to call them. Like through product development, when something happens that's going to push a timeline out, and I'm like, that's just not going to happen. The next day it gets resolved and we're back on track. I mean, really complicated things. Manufacturing products, bringing them to market, marketing them, standing behind them, getting all the bits and pieces done is a daunting process. And I've done it more than a few times.
Yeah.
So that is the miracle. That is the confidence. That is the knowingness of manifestation.
How would you use a tool like this for manifesting? Because now you're not starting from scratch. You've got an amazing assortment of devices and tools. This is one of the newest ones. How would you use something like this? Or how might, let's say, Krista use something like this? And she's got questions about how to use it, actually, which we're going to get to. But how would someone like Krista use something like this for something she wanted to manifest in her life?
Sit on it. Put it under your chair. Sit on and just allow that energy to start to come up and envelop your body. Now, your consciousness has the ability to shift dimensions in real time. And one of the coolest things is these colors that you can see with your mind's eye, but you can't see them with your human eye. They're higher octave colors. They are so brilliant and beautiful. It's like pure love, just morphing in and out of the blackness in your head. That happens pretty quickly when you put one of these under your chair and you sit and bathe in that vortex. It also will happen in natural vortexes out there. So when your consciousness is in those higher places, it's also easier to form the backbone of manifesting some things you want to bring into fruition. Or even a few steps below that, people go to the vortexes to heal themselves. Now, I'm not saying this product would heal you, obviously, but there's a lot of information out there about the vortexes healing people. So imagine taking a laser focused version of that and putting it under your chair and sitting on it. Watch what happens.
Yeah, this is one of those watch and see things. Let me get to a couple questions. I love this. And I love how you say start small, because it's kind of like building a muscle, building confidence, building that faith in the innate intelligence of the universe versus trying to allow the mind to do every single thing, because the mind only knows what it's done up to that point. And if you don't have $1 million, or you don't have a great relationship, or you don't have a healthy body, the mind isn't necessarily going to be able to figure that out so easily. It could take a long time on this gross, physical plane. Whereas this higher awareness, this higher essence, this vortex type connection energy may be able to allow you to discover it instantaneously or transmute it instantly. So I love that. Quick questions coming in. Okay, so here is one. This is great. Scotty says the word try is actually the T word with my daughter and I. It implies failure. We use best I can, and now we use I have a knowingness.
Awesome.
It's nice, man. Absolutely. So how would you recommend wearing it? This is what Krista's question is. She says, how should you use it if you don't want to wear it like Darius is? Some people, I don't want to wear that. That's maybe too much energy. How would you use it? You said one method was to place it under your chair. What would be another method?
I just, you could pop it under your chair and just watch the magic unfold. It's pretty incredible to behold. I carry mine around in my pocket. Carrying around a product in your pocket, the very stuff that creation is made from is pretty awesome. And it definitely gives you a confidence boost for sure.
Wow.
Watch when you have it in your pocket and you're having conversations with people that you wanted to go your way for whatever reason. It's always in your highest good. And watch what happens.
Now, I want to ask you about how you would use a vortex. Let's say you're using this device, or let's say you were in a spiritual vortex in Sedona. Let's talk about that. Would you send energies that maybe feel a bit off, feel a bit misaligned into that vortex?
Yes.
How would you do it?
So you can imagine it two ways, right? Because it creates the cone both sides. One is pushing and the other is kind of sucking in, right? So everything in life is a give and a take and a give. It's an in and an out breath, an out and an in breath. You have to be able to receive before you can give, and you have to give before you can receive, right? It's the yin and the yang. It's the in and the out breath. So let's just say, for instance, you want to purge your body of negativity. Maybe you got some goo from somebody. Maybe you're an empath and you've taken on someone else's garbage. You could just put it under your chair, feel which way the vortex is going, and reverse it so it pulls it out of you and transmits it back to Gaia or Mother Earth. Let's say, you want to get into these higher octaves where brilliance is born, where these ideas come from, communicating with people that have passed on. I mean, it's really limited by your imagination. Once you have elevated your consciousness above the riffraff and, oh my God, meditating with this thing under your chair, stratosphere. You go into places you have never been before. And, 5 minutes seems like 5 hours of sleep. It's insane. Your breathing is hyper focused. Your energy is so spot on. Very hard to describe it. But, you can look at it like if you ever bought like a piece of junk and then bought the Ferrari of that piece of junk, the quality difference.
Yes.
That's what you feel with this. It's unbelievable. You are only limited by your imagination. So for manifesting, you can bring it in. Now, you can do all this within your pocket. I'm just talking about spatial awareness when you have it under your chair. That allows for the physical cone to engulf your whole body.
I've got a question. Since we're talking about this, I'm not sure if this is going to focus on it. Maybe yours will. I want to ask about, what is this pattern? Oh, there it goes. That's pretty good. What is the pattern? Hey, Peter, you know what it is. What's the pattern on the front of this thing? It looks almost like some sort of sacred geometry or...
This is a pattern that has zero definition. Now, I'm sure it has definitions somewhere, but for the vortex, it has no definition. It just is.
Oh, there it goes.
It just is. And there is a piece of quartz crystal on each side of that graphic, that piece of metal. And that hole that you see in the center goes down to the magnet, which is very flat and round. And these are the magnetite pieces on the side, help create this entire vortex. And obviously, as the energy from the magnet starts bouncing on the inside of the quartz crystals with the geometry, it allows that vortex to be created.
I'm looking at this because I couldn't see it that good unless I put it through the camera, so I actually can look at it really good. Very cool. I'm getting a bunch of questions from folks about some different things. One question somebody has is, could I wear it on my neck and put it a little bit lower between the heart and the solar plexus? Another person asking, could I have it up higher in my high heart? And is there a way to do this? Is it okay? Either way, or is it better another way?
So I got to be honest, you're the first person I saw wearing it. I think during the development stages, we thought maybe about wearing it. But it was just that I didn't want to create another a device that you wear on your neck, especially when it came to the force generator. So I would go with yes, if it feels right, absolutely, just do it.
Nice. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say there was some guy that wore it around his neck and he just went, and astral traveled and never came back.
They never found his body.
It's like the Philadelphia experiment. Like he went back to 1941.
Like a modern day Jimmy Hoffa. They never found his body.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's good. If I ever want to get away, I'll be like, all right, I'm putting it on. I'm leaving. I'll come back. I'll be gone for 100 years and come back and not have aged at all and only be a minute later. Question coming in about what are you seeing planetarily? Because I know for a lot of folks, like we're seeing a lot of what seems to be some very clear shifts in vibrational energy. Some people are seeing a lot of negativity. Some people are seeing a lot of positivity. What are you seeing? And then how do we start to bridge that really to create our own heaven on earth with some of these things that you're discovering?
Stop watching TV. Don't read the news. If you have a TV, turn it off. Get out in nature. Talk to your kids. Talk to your neighbors.
You sound like a good friend of mine. Everyone knows he says the same thing.
just imagine for a second that you were born, in the early 1600s, right? What would you do? Would you read a book? Would you make breakfast? Would you, imagine just even go back like 30 years, just strip away all the dogma. And I guarantee, beyond the shadow of any doubt, no matter where you are, what you are, however, whatever feelings you have will shift just to a point that is very pure, where all of these fear frequencies that are being generated and pushed through everything you can imagine, they can't hold a candle to you. And you do that. You can't do it in one day. I've worked very hard, and it took me a while because I'm very addicted, obviously, to this business, and that's my cell phone and everything else. But I did it, and I don't have much stress in my life just because I planned it like that. But any stress I did was even taken down another notch. So if you are a fearful person of the future, things that are going on in the world today, unplug. Go outside and just walk barefoot in the grass for 5 minutes. Go into the woods and find a big tree, any kind of tree, and pull your shirt up and just put your back against the tree for 5 minutes. That tree will suck all the negativity out of your body. It's insane. And these are simple things. You could do it right now. There's no pretty waterfalls. There's no angels. There's no crystals. No kumbaya. This is all easy stuff you can do today.
And if you have to work in an office and you can't go out to the tree, then you get one of these. I bring this back, Peter, because I got a question for you. Let me try to get it to focus again. Focus. Okay. So one person had a question about the blue stones on one side. They're not on the other side. Is there any significance to that? We got a lot of very astute, powerful beings here who are seeing all sorts of distinctions in this. So
there's a lot of detail in this product. And that's a great question. They are just for visuals. That's all. There's screws underneath there. And they don't do anything for how the device works, although they are lab-grown crystals with good intention, but they have nothing to do with the vortex. They're just there to cover the screw holes that hold the unit together.
Sometimes utility is genius. I love it. Another person has a question. If I'm wearing it and my husband is next to me and he's maybe not in the highest vibration, is it going to affect him, or will the
Absolutely.
vortex? Okay.
Absolutely. Especially, so if you don't do anything, the vortex is just this, but you can direct the vortex anywhere you want. I mean, if you're sitting down and you're like, take them out, get them out of grumpy zone, watch what happens.
All right, we're going to be doing a process called the vortex cleanse, and a question that's been coming up in my mind and a few people kind of dancing around it. What is a vortex according to your definition as someone very knowledgeable about quantum energy? How do you define a vortex?
A 0 point. Again, part of my learning process. 15 years ago, I was playing around with sacred geometry, and I wanted to create a chemical experiment on top of these big sacred geometry posters that I would print out. And I wanted to, during that chemical expansion of dissolving gold and pushing it through to 0 point, we learned about multiverses, right? That there's an infinite amount of universes that rage around us all the time, and the only thing that's constant in all of those universes is the weight of matter, the density of matter. It has to remain a constant across all the universes. And when it comes to a vortex is shifting energy, right? And it looks just like an ice cream cone, except at the bottom of the cone is the 0 point. In real time, it opens it up, like these, right? So we have 3 here. These are 0 point connectors. They are clockwise spirals on one side, counterclockwise on the other, right? So they take that energy and they instantly shift it and push it through. And what comes back is pure, clean, pristine energy. So there's a lot of definitions. There's a lot of information out there on what vortexes are. I just like to keep things really, really simple. And instead of going into, what they are, I just want to tell you how to use them to your benefit.
Right. I love it. I love it. And I've got these in the office. You can see there's one back here. If you could see the wall over here, I've got so much stuff just creating a very pure energetic vortex. I do that for everybody here so that when I do the calls in this place at our facility, we send that energy out through the airwaves, through the video waves, through the recordings. That is very high vibrational energy. That's why a lot of these calls feel so good. And another reason is we do a lot of processes, and you got something called the vortex cleanse that we're going to take people through. What are we going to be doing, Peter? And why did you choose this for everybody? What is a vortex cleanse?
So when I did the videos of people getting taller and shorter while standing on either side of this, I also wanted to show the crowd how the power of this can be split multiple times in physical reality. So you're all going to experience how the vortex generator works, although you physically don't have one underneath you. This is a quantum process where space, time, and distance are irrelevant, right? It's kind of like where you set your intention, the intention will follow. So my intention with this device is to have all of you experience what she can deliver. And the cleansing part is just going to make you feel orgasmic, man. It's amazing.
This is a PG rated show, but, but this is a universal energy orgasmicness.
Oh, absolutely. You're just going to feel absolutely insanely good.
I know. And it's interesting because that is the only way sometimes we can describe things on earth that are very high pleasure, but in the quantum realms, there's pleasures that are 1,000 million times more than anything we've experienced on earth. And it's just like joy, bliss, euphoria, vibration, everything combined. So yeah, we're going to go there. And I appreciate that. Yeah. So let me just share a few. Oh, who said that? Scotty, you're the man. He says soulgasmic. He's very smart. Soulgasmic. I can't get in trouble for saying that. Yeah. Okay. Now Rosemary says she's very clear that she said the side with the blue stones, Peter, is the side with the energy going out. So she's telling you, she's telling you, man. Yeah. Another says, okay, will this help me open up for allowing? I gotta ask that question. This device, will it help us open up for allowing? Now, what blocks allowing? What blocks allowing? Would this help people open up to allowing?
Well, the short answer is absolutely. The more complicated answer is, what does allowing mean to you? So again, everything is the in and the out breath, right? The yin and the yang. It's in order to give, you have to receive. In order to receive, you have to give. And, you know, I a couple of years, three years ago, I can't even remember now, maybe 4 years ago, I sent an email out because I wanted to prototype a new energetic session we were getting ready to debut. And it was about giving and receiving. And I just asked people why they would like to participate in it. And of all the emails I got back, and I got quite a few, people had said that they had given everything and they weren't getting anything back. And what I quickly found was that a lot of it had to do with karmic baloney, had to do with feelings from their childhood of guilt, unworthiness. Why should I have the things that other people have, even though I want them? I feel guilty about. Really, what is that? I want everything. Bring it. But the universe will only give you what you need, never more, never less. Remember that. It's very, very important. So in hindsight, when we do this cleanse, you know, just let go. Just, you're going to be in such a state of bliss that ask the universe for what you want when you've reached that point, and it'll just, so it shall be. So easy.
All right. You know, so you just said ask the universe what you want when you reach that point. So they're going to be directed to do this during the process.
You know, this is the best way I can equate this. Oh, when you put on your sneakers, do you think, or you just tie your knot? It's automatic. It's a knowingness, right? It just happens. You think, you don't think about it. But when you teach your children to tie their knot, it's almost frustrating in your mind because you don't even think about it. And it takes them time to learn how to do it. But they will get to that place when they don't think about it. They just do it. That's how manifesting works. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You don't think. It just happens. That's it. There's no thought. When I put on my gym sneakers in the morning, I don't think about it. My fingers just do the walking. It just happens. Same thing with manifesting. So during the process, when you're in that state that's blissed out, just ask.
Ask. Okay, everybody, that's what we're going to do. Peter, take it away, my friend. I'm excited.
All right, cool. So just everyone needs to get comfortable however you want. But the one thing that's mandatory is your back is nice and straight. Your spine is nice and straight, as straight as it can be. And you're going to go ahead and grab a glass of water, please. We're going to charge a little bit of water for this. Okay. So with that glass of water, I'm going to use my mug of coffee because I love doing it with coffee. It makes it taste better. You can go ahead and raise your left hand over it about 3 inches and spread your fingers. And in a second, you're going to start to feel that universal energy run down through your hand into the water. As that energy starts to increase through your hand into the water, put your attention on the water and repeat those 8 sacred words. I honor the space in which you exist. Now that energy through your hand into the water will start to increase, at which point you want to go ahead and drink as much as you want. Notice the taste and the texture and where it's moving in your body energetically. Ooh, wow, that got really good.
That is really good.
Okay, you're probably starting to feel a little buzzing going on in your body. Things are starting to get a little tingly. That's the water blessing starting to, it's kind of like a primer. It's going to help us jumpstart this catalyst. But if you own one of these, you don't have to do this just because of the amount of people that are on the call live and how many people are going to be listening to the recording. It's important that we just kind of go through that. So with your back straight, just kind of, you get in a meditation pose if you want, or just lay your arms down at your side, however you want, just get comfortable, but just, keep your back straight. And what I want you to do is breathe in through your mouth, exhaling through your nose 3 times very deeply. Through your mouth, exhaling through your nose. You're probably asking, why is he doing that? Why? Well, because it goes against the grain of everything you think is proper. And what I'd like you to do now is just put this image in your mind's eye, and you want to put your attention. Man, my fingers are really shaking. There's already a lot of energy moving through this. Just put your attention right on the middle of that graphic. I'm going to pull it away, but it'll still be in your mind's eye. That's where the vortex is going to be coming from. And if you keep your eyes closed, just pull up that black silhouette in your mind. And you should start to feel and even see the vortex being generated now as it's coming up from underneath you and just engulfing your whole body. Pretty quick here, you're going to start to see things in your mind's eye that are revolutionary, things you don't see normally. It can be geometry. It can be these higher octave colors. It can be anything and everything in between. You might start to feel a little unbalanced and dizzy. That is actually perfectly natural. It will dissipate as fast as it comes on. But if it's too much, you can just open your eyes and back out of it for now. We're going to allow that power to increase. Starting to feel like every cell and DNA strand in your body is just being filled with light. Everything's starting to tingle and electrify. If you're having a kind of humdrum day where, things are a little depressing maybe, or just not going that great, watch how fast they get obliterated in the vortex. The clouds are just starting to part. You got that kind of spring smell going on. Everything is anew. Maybe you hear a higher ringing, that humming. And you'll get to a point where the whining and the feeling reaches an apex. And it can take a few minutes or it can be quicker for some. When you're at that apex, that's when you become the creator and the director of your reality. Use that energy to possibly smite something in your body that's annoying you or doesn't feel good. Think about the manifestation that you want. Think about using the apex of this power to help someone that you know in need, simply by just directing it to them now. That's worth 1,000-fold in karma. Be the director of your creation now. Okay. Come on back home. Open your eyes slowly. Take 3 deep breaths through your mouth, exhaling through your nose. Slowly.
I don't know if
Welcome
y'all
back.
saw what I was doing. Not sure if I was supposed to or not, but boy, I put it on the third eye. I think it was showed for a little while there. I saw into other worlds. I saw how the Arcturians actually set up their civilization, and they essentially uh, they measured beings by how much of their original divine love, the love of creation that basically establish that being's beingness, how much they were emanating in their life and in their connection to the reality. And people were elevated to positions of authority and power, or at least some sort of decision making, I should say, in that structure, based on the amount of that universal love that they were emanating. So it's incredible. And I could see into the world. And then I went and I was like, I want to see deeper. And then I kept going deeper, and I could see almost like the blueprint behind how that energy was organized in the consciousness of those Arcturian beings, but then also in their society. And I literally could see almost like a building blueprint, like how it was all laid out. And I could have kept going. I was like, man, okay, I'm going to keep going. And I kept going, and it just kept journeying and opening up. Like I could see through stuff, travel anywhere.
Did
And
you
it's
did
what
you
I had it up
experience
here.
that? Did you experience the time difference? So you guys were only gone for 5-6 minutes, but didn't it feel like hours?
Hey, it felt like worlds. It felt like eons. I was just there. Um, yeah, and I've had experiences like this at a SETI. So the last time, and this is a fact, that I was able to actually see into their world was at a SETI ranch. A lot of people probably know I went there like 4 years ago or so now. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years, but this is a place of a lot of high vortex activity, extraterrestrial activity and stuff. And so they have a galactic medicine wheel there where there's a lot of spiritual vortex. And I was able to see into some of these different higher dimensional civilizations and get wisdom. That was the last time I was able to do this. And it was over there in Trout Lake, Washington. And I just put it right here. Back. And just,
And
wow.
and and
Yeah.
it's also important for folks to understand that there is
It
no
was good.
there is no right way, there is no wrong way. There's only the perfect way. So if you want to put it on your forehead, or however you want to do it, as long as it feels right, do it.
Well, you taught me that. You're like, hey, don't just do it. Just you have to make the energy your own with everything you're doing. Like you can't go, hey, Peter, what's the right way? It's like then Peter's your master. Peter's your gatekeeper to consciousness. But that's not how it works. Like you feel it, do it. If it doesn't work, do
Exactly.
something else. If it doesn't work, try something else. And
Exactly.
it becomes your energy, it becomes your tool, not Peter's tool or mine. It's yours. So I want to hear from everybody. I'm still slowly coming back, so I might be a little wonky. All
I, I
right.
te- I'll tell you this though, I did not want to come back. It was that it pulled me in that fast, and
Never
I'm
want to come back.
I'm wop wop wop, but I didn't want to come back.
You never want to come back. This is this place is the densest. I mean, this is a dense reality, but it doesn't have to be. But all right. Heather said, "I am buzzing and tingling." Um, Another person wrote in, "Wow, amazing energy." I want to get to Karen. She said, "Headache at the temple." So let me know what's going on. Did that leave? A phenomenal experience, just like you had, Darius, says Heather. Very interesting. Oh, good question. Okay. Yeah. Buzzing, says Lily. So yeah, y'all keep writing in, and we're going to get to more of these questions. Very interesting. Let's see what else happened. What did y'all experience? Felt amazing. All my tiredness left, says Susie, and I love this process. Thank you for letting me experience. No, thank you for being a part of the experience. Thank you. Did anybody, Peter said, drop your intention in there, drop your wanting, your desire, whatever it is. Did you drop it in there? Did you drop something in that space? I didn't do that. I was just kind of looking in. What did y'all do? Another person buzzing, another person letting go. Thank you. May have read those. Here's another one coming in. Send energy to people I know that have health issues. Amazing. Did drop the intention. So can we use this to help others? And
Oh
what's
yeah,
your, okay.
absolutely. Remember, when you're the director of your own conscious reality, when you're at the apex of that vortex flow, you are, for all intents and purposes, the divine creator. of everything. And when you direct that energy to help people by being in service, you're so going to get good stuff back to you once you come out of it. So it's, and you learn these things just kind of as you move through it. There is no book on what we just did. There is, I mean, we're writing this stuff in real time, man. And it's in the flow, how it feels in the moment. And it's just all love and it's all good.
I love it. I want to get to a couple other questions. I got a close up here. Let me see if I can grab it. So y'all can all see that. I wanted to kind of share this close up. Let me widen my screen here, but I also want to get to a bunch of questions. So let me refresh the chat. Hopefully I can get to that because we got a lot of questions coming in and I wanted to show this thing up close. I guess it's a little smaller than I thought. Let me go back to the chat because I want to get to some questions. The headache went away. This was Karen. She says, my third eye is still buzzing. The headache went away as soon as I realized I was resisting the experience. So it looks like she had a headache in the beginning and then she let go and it's gone. Yeah. Another person, Darja, sorry if I'm not reading it right. She said, I feel a bit brighter. Yes, I welcome my infinite wealth making abilities. Susie, yes, I sent energy to people, also gave it a whole list of intentions and things to heal and balance. Hey, make the universe your servant. Make your I presence your servant. The slowest way to do everything is from what they call the gross plane, the physical plane. I mean, that's like the slow way. The universe can, things can happen quick when you give it away. Drop my intentions into the claim, got a lot of clarity. Oh, I got clarity around some aspects that were best for me to change, transform. I didn't want to come back either. I saw a white light, like kind of sunrise, very high pitched sound. My water tastes really good. Thank you, Peter. And I mean, this is just keeps going on and on. We got big stuff from Heather. Oh my God, buzzing, she says. I could imagine golden light. I felt dizziness before Peter said we would. And it's natural and normal to experience that. Man, this is probably one of the wildest things we've ever done. Let me jump to something here because I want to show what this really is here. And this is the actual thing we're talking about. It's not the only thing we're talking about, but this is the newest release and people can read about this. This is it. And for people wondering where this is, one of the things I love to do is we talk about this stuff is kind of share what Peter's doing and what he's bringing forward to us. And we got to taste it. We got to learn more. We got to connect to it. If you want to learn more, follow along. We're going to walk through some of these things and we're going to keep teaching. That's the way we do it here. And the energy jumps out at you on the page anyway. So you want to just keep watching. This is cool. And this is really the world of possibilities. I mean, that's, you do enough of your life where stuff is constantly hard. And then you get to a certain point, you're like, I wonder what would happen if I could try to make it easy, or if I would just make it easy. And this is what we're going to talk about. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Peter25. The harmonic field amplifier force generator. Peter, who is this for?
Everybody. It's for everybody that wants to break free from the humdrum. It's for people that want to experience what you just did, only 10 times more powerful because you have the real deal. This is just me consciously directing the energy to you. In some forms, it really pales in experience to the real device you're, being next to you or underneath you or carrying it in your pocket. What you just experienced was very real. But imagine carrying that in your pocket or wearing it on your neck, and it's constantly pushing out this vortex, man, that is warping. This is you have to understand. It's warping time and space continuously using universal energy. you can't, once it's on, you don't turn it off. It just does what it does. You see people get taller and shorter in real time. What do you think this is going to do when you talk to your boss and you have it in your pocket and you're thinking nothing but good intentions?
That's right.
Magic. This is where magic happens. Real magic, universal magic.
Maybe you're looking for an answer to something. You're trying to figure something out, or just get guidance on which way to go, and you put it here, or you just hold it, or it doesn't need to be here. That's symbolic, but yeah.
Darius, me and you could talk about this till the cows come home. Until someone experiences the real power of these things, only in the you just had an experience that you didn't have for the last 4 years, and you literally went into it in 3 minutes, and you were there for hours, right? In your mind, you were there forever, but it was only a few minutes here. Imagine carrying that around all the time.
I didn't have to fly all the way to Washington, so that was cool. I like it. I like it a lot. For people wondering, if you want to go deeper into this, there's some details on this, but something really cool that Peter's doing that I'm kind of excited about. I'm kind of also a little miffed because I didn't get one of these. I got the beautiful device, but where's my source water bottle? Because this is a physical item. We got limited numbers, but he's including this as a bonus for anybody that wants to get one of these tools that we've been talking about. Tell me about this new creation, the source water bottle. What is this?
So
you've been charging water for a while, so you might as well have a special water bottle.
This product was specifically designed for this show.
Oh,
now,
man.
Here is the funny thing. This development, a development cycle typically takes anywhere from 6 to 9 months to get a product in-house. Okay. I don't even have any of these real water bottles except for a prototype, and the delivery of the production units is on its way and should be here in the next 2 or 3 days. Now, this is a water bottle unlike any water bottle you have ever seen. And I apologize because the pictures are so-so. And normally when I release a product, it looks absolutely beautiful. This is just a little short of that. But trust me, folks, this water bottle is unlike anything you've ever seen. So to start, it's not just any water bottle. It's a source water bottle. So on this side, you will see the symbol for infinity. Okay. And if you were to, and if you were to turn it around, you would see a beautiful in color MDM logo, which is the eye, which I have never put on a product before. Down below, the bottom unscrews, and you have laser engraved on it the golden ratio formula. So you can put supplements in there. You can fill it with whatever you're carrying in the bottle if you wanted to drink out of it. You can carry your car keys in there. You can carry anything you want in there. The top.
Oh, so this is removable here.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff in there and it's charged.
Yeah. Wow. The cap on the very top has another laser engraving of a nucleus of an atom. Okay. And the way all of these work in conjunction is to raise the vibration of the water or anything that you put into it. This is, and they come not just the water bottle in a bag. You know me, I have to go over the top and everything, and we did. This comes in an absolutely beautiful cardboard cylinder. With the source symbol on the outside. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's so sacred. And it's so new. It's not even up on my website yet. This is the first time it's ever been shown publicly. And I don't even have one to show you, but they're really going to be over the top.
All right, absolutely. So everyone's going to get one if you decide to go deeper. That explains why I didn't get one, so I'm not upset.
But don't worry, you will get one.
Oh, I need one. I like it. I'm gonna stick the force generator in the water bottle in the bottom compartment, and then I'm gonna charge all my water with a vortex.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna play. This is what we got to do. It's our universe. We're gonna play and we're gonna have fun. So for people wondering, it's at uwealthrevolution.com/Peter25. Just take, Peter's first name, Peter, and put 25 after the /. Peter's going to be doing a 60-minute live group activation in July, vibrational techniques to attract abundance, which is fantastic. And Peter is the man with attraction. I mean, it's amazing to see a person that creates so much and never runs out of creations, and they get better and better. You definitely are tapping into a much higher frequency realm, or an unlimited frequency realm, regularly in your life and what you do. So to learn from Peter is phenomenal. And he doesn't struggle. I mean, you never see Peter like struggling and it's like, oh, it's so hard, it doesn't work. It comes together, as he says. So there's a lot to learn from this man, and you're gonna get that. So that's another big thing. The other thing, Peter, you got the Aqua Sync, which is really one of your, that was one of your flagship first big shifting products. You've given this access to people for 30 days. Tell people about that, because that's going to be another piece of this. They're going to get that plus some HFA workshops and a lot more. And if you want to add any of these other tools to it, you can add another HFA force generator. Some people want to give it as a gift, or you can add an HFA mini, which we'll talk about. Tell us a little bit, though, about the 30-day Aqua Sync access.
So Aqua Sync was born about 3 years ago, and it's a combination of all of the physical downloadable software that I've created over the last 16 years, right? So YWR, which was and still remains the 800-pound gorilla, was born on July 4th, 2007. And then came 5 other programs after that. Each one of the programs were built off of the core YWR technology, all designed to bring different things into your life based on programming water. The step from moving from a downloadable piece of software into a SaaS platform, software as a service, was a huge undertaking for the people that made that magic happen. I didn't do it. And it basically, you can now, all of the software is truly mobile. It'll really run on just about any device with a data connection and a web browser, right? So all the things that you used to love all the way up until the 5th generation of the software in YWR, the source, the 12th project, and all of the other ones, now runs for a monthly subscription. So you don't have to spend several $100s on a piece of software, because it was very expensive back in the day to cover the enormous cost of developing it and producing it and all of that. And now it's a very low monthly subscription fee, or you can buy a yearly subscription fee at a reduced price, and you get all of the software for 1 month low price. And here we're allowing you to sign up and use it, all of it, for 30 days and see the magic of what it can do for you. I mean, I could spend hours and hours and hours talking about this, but it's better to just jump in and get your feet wet and watch the training videos, read the manual, ask questions, and so forth. Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's a lot of details here on the HFA force generator. And, I was kind of playing as you were talking, and I thought, man, another cool thing to do, if I am a healer or I do healing work, I was like, I could stick this right on the microphone and send through my voice the vortex to people. I mean, there's an unlimited number of things you can do. I'm just playing, and it really kind of opens up your mind to the universe as your own sandbox, right? Your own playground.
Out of all the years we have worked together and all of the dozens of products we have debuted on your show, I have never seen you play this much with a product in my life, ever.
It's freeing me up, man. Usually I'm like this. I don't know what to do with it. What do I do? And I'm like, I'm just going to put it everywhere. It has that effect. I love that. No, I love it. Thank you for noticing. I was noticing that too. I'm like, I'm getting a little crazy with this thing, but it does feel very much like home. So for people that want to check this out, check it out on the page, wealthrevolution.com/Peter. You are going to get the physical item shipped, plus the water bottle, plus the access to the 60-minute live group activation with Peter. That's a group call, 30-day access to AquaSync, plus HFA workshops, 3 videos. You can do 2 payments at $99. It's pretty awesome because you're going to have this for life, and you're going to play like I am, and you're going to use it. You're going to carry it. You're going to do all sorts of stuff as you bend and transcend and create from reality in a very big way. Now, Peter, the other thing is people will get a chance if they want to add in one of these beautiful tools here. Got to thank Allison for all of that technical work. Some people may want to add one of these in. Now, we haven't talked about them, but how do they fit into this? How does the HFA Mini version 2 maybe fit in with what we talked about today, or fit in with this whole way we could use all these tools? What's the story that you want to convey with this?
So the HFA harmonic field amplifier were the first line of products that I created. And in this particular offer on options 2 and 3, we are adding in these tools that are in their 2nd generation. Okay, the HFA Mini version 2 is a pendant made from pure copper and silver that you wear on your neck. And you have this one, Darius.
Yeah.
And it's a biometric thumb activated protection device that will protect your energetic field from all negativity. Okay. And people have shown, and you have experienced, that when you wear this on your neck around your house for weeks and weeks on end, it looks as beautiful as the day it came out of the box. And then you go down to the mall or you go out in public, and within an hour, it turns dark, or it turns black or purple, or just tarnishes like crazy. And that is the device, the consciousness behind the device, working harder for you, physically showing you that, it's protecting your energetic field from all that negativity that's coming in to disturb you.
Yeah, there's a really great write-up here about what it's doing. So you can add these together really to create like a very powerful synergistic quantum effect. And again, it's up to you to play with it and see. So we have an option to add it on. If you do this, you're going to get both here, or actually here, I think you're going to just get the HFA Mini version 2. So that's an option just to get that. But then you can always add this HFA force generator if you want. And then you've got some other things if you want to get the bigger device. Now, is this kind of just like an amplified version of the HFA Mini version 2? Is this kind of just like a more powerful one to use? I can't remember.
This is cutting edge. This is a product that is exceptional in every way. It's a 2nd generation. It is smaller. It is way more powerful than the 1st generation. And it's called the HFA Plus for home and office. And it is designed to remove all negativity from your home or your office. And it does it at a speed and agility that is literally insane. I'll share one story with you quickly with this device. This older woman ordered one a few years back. It was 1st generation. And she called me up and she was completely upset. And she's like, it's bringing up repressed memories. And that took me 40 years to get rid of. And I believe she was in her 80s at the time. And I had to step back and think about this. And she told me her story, and it was very sad. She was given up for adoption at birth. The family that adopted her did all kinds of disgusting things to her until she was old enough to escape. She spent the next 40 years repressing the information through various doctors and other methods. and and she gets version 1 of this, and all this stuff starts bubbling up, and she's really upset about it because it hasn't bothered her in years. And I was thinking to myself, and I said, it's doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's removing the things
Right.
the scab that you just put a Band-Aid on, and it's going to get rid of them. But she's like, you don't understand. I can't handle the power that it's putting out.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, you can. Ask her to dial herself down. If she's running at a 10, ask her to go to 3. Problem fixed. Conscious creation.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah. You
So
control the energy, folks.
So, we're running
Yeah.
3 0 points on this guy. With the symbology, the way the silver. So the copper attracts the negativity, and the silver inlay that goes all the way around and through here creates and stabilizes the field, pushes the energy through, and at the speed of thought, it is returned as pristine energy to the room. And people that have reported being pack rats all of a sudden start cleaning their house. People that had family members arguing, everything gets calm. Even their neighbors, because the field can get huge. It will affect your neighbors. So if you got someone living next to you that's not so nice, watch, they become nice. So.
Yeah, well, there's ways to get, if you want to get just that, looks like option 3. And then option 4, you get everything. And so you just kind of scroll down and say, okay, I want the whole thing, all of it together. And there you go. You can do that for 2 payments or 3 payments. Man, I love it. And we got a bonus as well I want to talk about. It seems to me the more that I kind of plug into what's going on, a lot of these old energies, just like that story of that 80-year-old woman, they're all coming up to be released. So our karma is coming to the surface, whether we want to or not, because we've all got to up level, I think, at some point to get to that next level of human evolution. And we got to let go of this old stuff. So it's going to come up anyway in these times. That's where the pressure is, like the coal being pressed together to make the diamond. It's like that pressure is creating the diamond level human. So we know it's coming up. Let's use tools to let it come up and become free and not controlled by it. And that's what I love about what you're doing, because for people that want to get help, release, break free, or transmute, these are huge ways to accelerate that evolutionary standpoint into this quantum realm. I mean, if I'm able to peer into the Arcturian blueprints of their society, can I bring some of that stuff back here and maybe, start to create big changes on Earth and accelerate things? Oh, heck yeah, we can. And that's not even just a hair of what's possible. So I love it, man. I love it. I love it a lot. That's great stuff. Now, Peter, got a question for you. What is clearing your energy fields? This is a 1-hour bonus. What did you do in this special MP3? Maybe that'd be of interest to people, especially now, because we can talk about higher energy, but if our energy fields are lumpy and full of vibration that we're not releasing, that's also going to affect us in some way.
So I believe in this workshop, I take people through a guided meditation with we're asking some specific questions and doing some sacred geometry and writing some things down to identify where the blockages is in their body, and then using a gravity well to remove it. So it would be something along the lines of, maybe I have you create a box with a plus sign, and I'll say, okay, you think of the first thing that comes to mind when I count down from 3, 2, 1, and I say, strawberry elephant, for example.
Yeah.
And the first thing that pops in your mind, you would write it down. And then we're kind of creating this energetic matrix based on frequency and tone to direct this gravity well somewhere in your body or your surroundings or your energy field to remove any negativity that could be present.
Man, this is awesome. Awesome stuff. I'm going to get to some questions. We got a lot of them. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Peter, PETER25. Does the force generator ever need to be cleaned? Great point.
No, great question though. None of my products ever have to be cleaned, ever, ever, ever.
Okay. Does the pendant self cleanse, or does someone need to clean it? This is another person. Tamara asked, and then now another person. So I know with the HFA, we clean it sometimes if it gets dirty. This one does not have that. Does not have that.
No.
Need, correct.
And there was another question way up there I'd like to answer. For people that can't wear nickel, I believe she said that it would bother her, and she was talking about putting it in a silicone holder. It absolutely will not affect the field no matter what you carry it in. That's why if you're carrying it in your pocket, it's still pushing that field out. So yeah, you can do that.
Interesting. Is it a problem? Well, I don't know whether it would be a problem traveling to another country. Are you able to carry it on with you? I mean, to me, if you can carry jewelry into this country, I would assume you could do this.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on that, but I would assume you could. Would it be a good thing to carry with you traveling, Peter? I mean, airports, at the mall, you got all sorts of stuff going on in these places.
You really need to ask yourself that. I'm kind of hesitant to answer that question because I have a third generation of a product coming very soon that is built for that specific purpose. But I would assume, yes, you could travel with this, no problem.
Yeah, anytime you want a vortex of energy around you.
I mean, I've taken this. So I had the prototypes last September, and I was all over New Hampshire and parts of Vermont in some very sacred sites, utilizing the energy from this. And we took pictures of like the sun streaming through. And you see, when you look at some of these pictures with this in it, and I'm holding it up, you see beings of light that are just popping up everywhere in the forest. I mean, it's insane. You couldn't see them with your eye, but they show up.
So you're saying you took pictures like through this in some ways?
No, it's just like me holding this up in a beautiful setting, and in the picture revealed all these crazy creatures of light, just coming out to either play or observe, because we are, disrupting their natural habitat with some pretty high voltage stuff.
Yeah, that's a very common thing in spiritual vortices. People take pictures, and there's all sorts of orbs and stuff in the field, and they're everywhere. So whatever it is, it's definitely opening up that type of energy. What about somebody living in an apartment building? Would this affect people around them? This is a question I know.
It's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect, and especially if you consciously direct it, it's definitely going to affect people.
Can you also limit it if, let's say, you just want to say, okay, so you can direct how far? Okay.
You have so if you don't do anything and you just put it down on the ground, it's at a 45-degree angle. So up 6 feet at 45 degrees, what that span is, I have no idea, but you can calculate it out. But you can also change that cone just by asking it to change.
I noticed it would fit right under a coffee cup pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
You got a little recessed bottom on there. It's my favorite New Orleans coffee cup. Anyway, a lot of ways to do this. Food, I guess you could charge your food. What about if you've got an area with some discomfort? I mean, this is so small, could very easily, just with a little bit of tape, be put somewhere where you have like a pain, an elbow. I
would recommend putting it on the floor and just sitting in a chair.
Nice.
And just kind of close your eyes and go through the process that we went through.
Oh man, we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of questions. Keep sending them in. Peter, I want you to have the floor. What is it that you would like people to know right now? Could be about this device, could just be about what you are sensing. as a being going through your life journey. Could be some wisdom that maybe some higher energies want to impart to the audience. I'll let you have the floor.
Ask yourself, what do I want? And then ask yourself, why don't I have it? Then, oh yeah, this will be cool. This will be a fun little experiment. Okay. So close your eyes and ask yourself, why don't I have A? And A can be anything. Why don't I have it? And just watch your mind, all the noise that pops up, all the frequencies, that blah 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 blah. Why don't I have whatever? And just kind of let that gross EBGB feeling kind of creep through your body. Why don't I have whatever? Okay, now open your eyes and look at me. Now, in real time, look at the HFH force generator and ask yourself that same question with your eyes wide shut, if you know what I mean, and watch what happens. Clarity personified. So again, a lot of Native Americans over thousands of years have done pictographs in caves throughout. Even in the Northeast, there's huge, beautiful sites. There's a site here in southern New Hampshire called American Stonehenge, which goes back, I think, almost 8,500 years. And it actually rivals the one in England on a lot of different levels. So there's a lot of pictographs here in the Northeast, but predominantly in the American Southwest, you'll see pictographs of vortexes on cave walls, on rocks that are thousands of years old. So obviously, vortexes have been in the consciousness grid forever, and people have found these places, not ley lines, vortexes, and utilize that power to do immense things in their lives. That's why, when you think of Sedona, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Vortexes. It's undeniable. And there's 9 of them. You don't have to go to Sedona, folks. I mean, you can go if you want, but you don't have to. You can bring it to you. And it's infinitely more laser focused. Explain what happened with the question, what do I want? Why don't I have what I want? And then what happened when you put your attention on the vortex and set it? What happened?
So for me, yeah, people write in. For me, why don't I have what I want? Had all these, just like you said, mind mumblings, all that stuff. And then when I looked at the vortex force generator, I looked at it, I asked the question, and then I heard this like godlike voice, and it said, you will have it.
So I'd like to do one more experiment. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you is a prototype. It was not used in anything we did today, but it's a prototype. And I probably shouldn't show you this, but I'm just being,
you're feeling playful. You're feeling playful like me.
Well, you really have no idea what you're about to see.
Hold on. It's showing me. Hold on, Peter. You got to say something. There you go. Thank you.
This is a vortex generator, a prototype that's 10 times the size of this one. So imagine what we were just doing with this one, and I will allow all of you to play one time with this. This is not a commercial product and probably will not be, but I had to have a few of these made up to understand the next level of product that'll be coming in the fall timeframe and into the new year. So this houses an extreme magnet, 7 millimeters, or actually these are 12, and there's 6 of them with this huge flat magnet on the inside. So just holding this up is making my head go all over the roadmap. So that's why I don't know if we should use it or not, but maybe I just wanted to kind of show it to you. This creates a vortex that is infinitely larger than the one you can purchase. But I just wanted to show you, when you think outside the box, when you have absolute knowingness, you can create absolute blissful creations in the world. And this is something that is just insanity on so many levels.
Wow, man, I can feel that thing. Now I can't carry that around with me, so it will
That's
it would be in
called
certain rooms, but
that's called the force
extreme.
generator extreme.
Wow, wow, wow. I can see you are absolutely committed to this. Well, that I don't know if I would be carrying around. Might be good one day if it's
This
ever
is
created.
it's important to understand that these are prototypes. It's not a production run.
Yeah.
They and I create a lot of different prototypes for products that you never see, because they are a part of the experience along my journey to understand what the next level of products are going to be, or teachings or technology or whatever is about to move through me. And I in other shows that we've done, I have explained that learning process, how you have to go through some experience to gain knowledge to build or create something else. But that knowledge that is given to you is earned. It's not given freely, because you need to have complete respect over what you're unleashing in the world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can feel that. And I think that's the way you start big and you say, okay, this is a huge bit of energy. And then now you can go a little smaller and make it portable, make it handheld, make it something you can fit in your pocket, and you prove the validity of the vortex. And then now you condense it down. It's just another way to make it very powerful. And, I think this may also have that potentiality, because the first computers, they took up rooms and rooms, and then now you've got computers that fit in the palm of your hand. So, it is whatever you choose to make it.
But let me explain. This came first. This came second. This wasn't a prototype for this. This is a prototype for another device of something that has nothing to do with vortexes. But sometimes you have to make them to understand whatever it is, because when you create a prototype of something physical that's so radically different from whatever, it allows you to have access to certain markets or bits of information that you can purchase with karma points that you've accumulated.
Oh man, you are definitely playing at a high game there, Peter, and I love it. I love it. We are going to be absolutely following everything that comes out, and right now we have something amazing and all new, and this is what we've been talking about, what we've been experiencing: the power of a spiritual vortex in the palm of your hand, the harmonic field amplifier force generator. It's a physical product that's going to get shipped out. And we also have a new release now. They are magnets in here. Read all about it. Grab yours. Plus you get the source water bottle and live group activation call, and then 30-day access to AquaSync and the HFA workshops, all of it from Peter Schenk, and you can get it for just 2 payments of $99. And I would get them before we run out. I mean, that's happened before. They will go quick. And I know we've got some numbers for our show allocated with pricing and discounts you're not going to find anywhere else. So check it out. And Peter, boy, I want to thank you. This is just awesome stuff, man. I'm buzzing. I'm like, oh yeah, we're in the quantum. We're doing quantum work now. We're totally out there. I'm going to go back and go do some more inspection of some of those higher dimensional civilizations and pull down some information with this thing as soon as the call's over. It's amazing. Any final words or any goodbyes, my friend?
Just know that anything is possible. Anything is possible. These tools are just that. They're tools to help you believe in yourself, to help you expand your thinking outside your box, which is your consciousness. And just know that when you start off small, that snowflake will turn into a snowball, which then turns into a bigger snowball and eventually an avalanche. To get from the original HFA, A New Way to Travel, to prototype, which will skip a generation of technology and bring me somewhere else that will allow me to create more blissful products that are stronger, more precise. It's all done because I've accepted who and what I am. And the biggest thing you probably already know, but you should really hear, always surround yourself with people that build you up, never tear you down, ever. And if that means cutting vampires out of your life, just do it. Because when you're in that place, that apex of the vortex, and you see the matrix, which is fake for
The
what it
Fatrix.
is,
I like that term.
you really,
Fatrix.
really understand that anything is possible, and you have the power to create your reality as you see fit to move through it, simply by accepting. It's all love, man. It's all love.
Love. Yeah. I'm showing this just because I wanted the energy to reach people so they just kind of feel it as it's kind of being broadcast out through your words and through the intention of the show. And yeah, awesome stuff. Check it out. If you enjoyed the show, just rewatch it, feel it again, go back into the vortex process. We did the vortex clearing. If you want your own, check it out. It's uwealthrevolution.com/Peter25. And we've got links in the chat, but also check out the different options, because I'm scrolling quick, but there's ways to get everything. Or if you want to just go deeper with the newest, it's there, and it would be the first option. And it's what we debuted today, Power of a Spiritual Vortex in the Palm of Your Hand. And boy, we felt it, man. I hope that everybody experienced something today special. I mean, that's always our goal, is that you experience something really special. Thanks again. The fake tricks, so awesome. I love that, Peter, man. That's like the word of the year. Thank you, my friend. Super excited to play, says Darja. Rosemary, oh wow, thank you. I love the HFA, would love the source generator bottle. Oh wow. So a lot of beautiful things. Yeah, let's use the energy. Let's do it. Another person, Tamara, wow, the energies are rushing through my body. Oh, wow. Now, let me tell you what Nyamo said. She said, why don't I have it? This was that second little process Peter asked us to do. Why don't I have it? And then she got the message, I feel unworthy. Then after the vortex, she got the message, you are in disbelief that you can't have it. So we had this correction. Let me share a few more of these. I'm going to show the screens. I know a lot of people are kind of looking at this. Let me see. I don't know how to show the screen right now. Another person wrote in and said, y'all can just listen. She said, why don't I have it? I feel unworthy. All right, here's another one. Feedback. I had a hiccup burp the first time I asked. And then the second time I asked the question, why don't I have it? I experienced clarity and peace. And when I was looking at the created Vortex product, and that's why I was showing it. I wanted people to feel that peace. So check it out, everyone. It's there. Me and Peter are just sending big love to you. And thanks for being here. And we appreciate y'all so much. And you are amazing. You're powerful. And I guess the big theme of the call today is you can hold it in your hand. You can play with this energy. You can play with this power. You can play with these possibilities and create your life as anything you want. Much love, everyone. And thank you so much.